Hello, beer drinkers, alcoholics, drunks, and connoisseurs of the fine malty beverage that we call beer. This is the Couch Co-op, and we're here to entertain you. Aren't we? Yes.
As best as we
Hopefully.
can.
I got
Or
Jared.
at least waste some of your time.
I got
if
Jared.
You're looking to waste some time.
I got Nick. I got John. We're here. We're drinking beers. And we're going to talk. You know what? This is a little departure for the Couch Co-op. And I think this is probably something that might happen more in the future as we become a more fully functional beer podcast. We're going to talk about...
Fully evolved.
Exactly, Nick DeWin. We're going to talk about some beer shit. We're going to drink beer. We'll be drinking beer. What's everyone drinking tonight? I'm drinking a Hot Venom, a delicious double IPA from Boneyard, 4% alcohol volume. Nick DeWin, what are you drinking?
I'm doing my own personal beer blender.
Oh, my God.
It's more of a cleaning out the fridge sort of deal since these are kind of old. But I just wanted to see what, a
Rogue
double
on
shot of...
Rogue on Rogue?
Yeah, a little Rogue on Road.
Dude, that's my favorite. That's my favorite X-Men porno. Rogue on Rogue. What are you drinking, Jared?
I have a Widmer Drop Top Amber Ale.
Yeah.
I thought an Amber Ale sounded really good because that's a
and there's
Amber.
We're not
that
doing
kind of
the
disappeared.
Amber for life, baby. Bring them back.
Yeah, baby.
More love.
That's probably an underrated beer style.
100%.
Yeah.
And then I think John is tapped out because he's sick. He's just drinking maybe water. I don't know.
Maybe some NyQuil.
No, I'm finishing the rest of the Himalayan Blue.
Oh, he's still drinking.
Wow.
So John is a man of the world because he's not finishing the Man of the Blue. This is a week later, and he's opened a new bottle of Himalayan Blue. And he's just...
No, I just put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
and sat on it.
Yeah.
And put one of those fake corks in it.
Yeah.
No, just put tinfoil over the top of it.
Well, cheers to everybody.
Yeah.
We're all drinking beers. We're all enjoying delicious beers.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we are going to, instead of review a beer, we're going to discuss an article that Nick posted in the Discord. The most overrated beer styles according to brewers. So
2024.
2024.
This is from vinepair.com.
I'm going to read the whole list, and then we'll go through each one separately. So these are the most overrated beer styles according to brewers, as Jared said, from Vinepair.com. Vinepair.com. The first one, hazy IPAs. The second, heavily fruited smoothie beers. Third, New Zealand Pilsners. Fourth, sweet opaque double IPAs. Fifth, non-alcoholic beers in general. Sixth, lactose heavy beers. Seventh, pastry stouts. Eighth, kettle sours. And ninth, sour IPAs. This is a very interesting list. Some of these styles I'm not even fucking aware of.
Yes.
And so we're going to go down the list and talk about these beers. And I hope you guys enjoy this kind of different episode. I'm going to take a sip, but hazy IPAs, kick it off. Let's go.
I pretty much think I agree with this. I mean, I haven't had a lot of hazy IPAs, but I also look at the idea of a hazy IPA, and I mean, really, what is it? Is it just an unfiltered IPA or a New England style IPA?
New England style.
There's
okay.
I mean,
let's break it. Wait. Let's break down the whole idea of what an IPA is. An Indian Pale Ale.
Okay.
It's a hoppy beer
Right.
that was shipped.
Mm-hmm.
It was shipped
from Britain to
no, from America. My understanding is from America.
My understanding it was from Britain to
Was it from Britain?
India.
I thought it was from. Well, okay, fine. Either way works.
Long ship ride.
Either way works. So then that makes sense when it's the New England version, because you're coming from New England, which is America. New England IPA is the more hoppier version to India, right? So you have classic IPA from Britain going to India. IPA. New England IPA is from New America, because New England is what, Massachusetts, that whole area in there, New England, right?
All the massholes. And...
Yeah. So that's that version, right?
So the West Coast IPA, is that where
you go the long way around?
Yeah, where
so hoppy until you get to India, and then it's just a regular Himalayan blue like John's drinking right now.
Okay.
So, I think this category is bullshit. This hazy IPA, and then at the bottom is sour IPA. I think they're neglecting the fact that just IPA in general is the most overrated fucking. You don't need to fucking subclass the class and subclass genre. Fuck you, brewers. Like, the IPA in general is the most overrated beer style. Just get the fuck out, in my opinion. This fact that you need to separate hazy, sour.
Well, I mean, that was...
sweet opaque double IPAs. I guess Hot Venom would classify as a sweet opaque double IPA because it's sweet because of the alcohol, right? I don't know what even that means. I don't even understand. No one classifies a beer as sweet opaque double IPA.
The opaque thing, that's funny.
And besides, I actually like those, so I'm going to disagree with that one when we get to it.
No, I get it. Oh, but I'm just saying IPAs in general. Like, let's look at if you have a beer that's taking up 3 categories, it's just IPA. It's just IPA.
IPA is the problem.
It is. So this is my problem with this list off the get go. Is just the fact that IPAs are the problem. So
the problem with the subcategories of IPA and the fact that these subcategories are taking up a spot on overrated.
Yeah,
I mean, this has been kind of a problem with IPAs for like a good long while. Like even back during the hop shortage of 2008.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. Notice how we started this episode, and Jared held up an amber, and looking at those lists, there's no amber on this list because an amber is not an overrated beer. But it's
underrated.
IPA is so overrated that they had to take up 3 spots on this list. When you could just say like the whole genre is fucked.
But not to be totally hateful of IPAs, because I don't want that style to go away, because I still like it.
It's never going to go away, though. It's never going to go away. Come on.
It's oversaturated, and the store shelves get really boring when everything says IPA or hazy on it.
100%.
100%.
I
walk by the beer
Christmas
aisle.
IPA.
That's it.
A double IPA, a triple IPA, a juice, fuck hazy or regular.
Imperial.
How about imperial or juicy? You know, like, it's just IPA in general. The whole concept of IPA is it's a mess.
Yeah.
And there are delicious ones.
There
are delicious ones. And there are not delicious ones. And
then there's those IPAs where people are just trying to jump on board.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I don't understand this one. I don't know if someone can Google this. Heavily fruited.
Oh, I already did.
Heavily fruited smoothie beers.
It's pretty much
what is
a
this?
Sour, but then they put fruit puree in it.
Yeah, that sounds.
That happens.
So
and what's funny
sweet,
about you bringing up IPAs, Ian? Notice how many sours are on this list as well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah,
I get it. But
Ian's greatest hit is at the very bottom.
yeah, no, yeah, But what I'm saying is, heavily fruited smoothie beers. Is this a beer you can actually buy, or is this something you can only get at a bar?
It seems like it, but it's
Yeah.
I've
just
never
a sour that has fruit puree in it. But I haven't seen it either.
I've never seen this.
Yeah,
I've never seen
I
this.
think, yeah, I've heard of it, but I
seems
don't know.
like it would be more of
seems
like a
they'd be
cocktail
really
thing.
sweet. Yeah.
Like you would order it at a bar and it would be made versus
Like
it's
this
shipped that way.
This isn't even a sour. Heavily fruited smoothie beers. This is like you just putting like fruit puree.
No, but they're made sours.
I wonder if this is like kind of like a low key dig at like 10 Barrels Crush series.
Well, one of the quotes in this article, it comes from a guy at Personal Best Brewing. He says, I'm paraphrasing, the sight of those chunks floating in barely carbonated fruit soup honestly kind of turns my stomach.
See, I've never heard of this. I don't even know. This is not coming out of a can. This is something out of a brewery. Where is he from? Does it
New
say
York.
where he's New York. Yeah, I don't get this. I don't know this. I'm not sure what this is. This hasn't hit us yet. This reeks of like upper class asshole doing like chef beer shit and not actual brewery shit. So I don't.
Or it could be.
This could be the next Clamato. Think of that.
Yeah,
Or
totally.
Slowly rotate the can around to mix it.
Actually, what I was thinking
it's the Chelada sour. The Chelada sour. Dave will love it.
No, it's probably be more like the fruit wine of beer.
I'm gonna say that this category doesn't count, in my opinion. I feel like this is.
I think
stupid.
it's too niche.
Yeah,
It's
right.
very new.
niche,
Yeah, I don't know what
very.
this is. I think this is garbage, stupid. I'm going to strike this one. Who is this? Vinepair.com. Get fucked. I don't think actual beer drinkers, like we know hazy IPAs. We have no idea what a heavily fruited smoothie beer is. Like, get fucked. And
Maybe we haven't been flooded yet. Like maybe New York has been flooded.
fuck
this
New
kind of
York.
beer.
New York is the last person
This
to
could
know
be a
what.
regional.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. New York is the last fucking place on the earth to know what good beer is. So when they get beer,
I don't
they're gonna make Cuisinart. Okay, fucking Nick. What is a great beer that comes from New York?
Southern Tier actually is a great brewery out of New York.
What beer do they make that we all drink that we love? All three.
They're not available in Oregon anymore.
See, there we go. We've never had it.
man.
It's not good enough. It's not good
that's
enough. Not good enough for us.
Not necessarily their fault. They had a distributor, but then they were bought out by some company that they may or may not work for.
I'm gonna say get fucked. All right.
Just like that. All right. I still love Southern Tier.
No,
my dick.
I trust Nick. I trust that Nick is saying that Southern Tier is good. I get it, but like, come on, New York. At the end of the day, that's one.
Well, here,
that's
I
one.
mean, and
that's one beer you're gonna give me from New York.
Brooklyn Brewery is very well or highly regarded.
Okay. All right.
Mm,
Nick's
big
coming
fuck,
out. Nick's coming out. He's kind of not gunning. Okay, I'm not gonna like totally throw it.
I
under
think
the
you
bus.
can maybe still get Brooklyn beer at Shake Shack. That was a beer they did feature at Shake Shack for a while.
There we go. All right. I'll resend. I'll resend my threat. All right, but I still honestly want to erase heavily fruited smoothie beers from this list. I think this is the stupidest fucking category. I don't get it. Anyway, okay. Moving on. Third, New Zealand Pilsners. Now, I think
This sounds very much.
we talked. I think before Nick got on, we were talking to.
I was
talking
listening,
To, oh,
but-
okay. I was talking to John about this, and John he was talking about this, but
It sounds very much like the crafty pilsners that you hate,
right.
Because they're overly hoppy, and
I don't know why. I
didn't realize it was a New Zealand. Pilsner.
I don't know how New Zealand got saddled with the idea of craft pilsners, but
Here we are.
they did, and yeah, fuck this. If this is what those are, fuck this. Levels dry hop pilsner. fuck that beer. We all hated it on the couch co-op. If this is what this category
and who
is,
recommended it or who suggested it? I mean,
it's
Well,
video game
I just
related.
looked up what makes a beer New Zealand style, and let's see, a New Zealand style pale ale is simply billed as exhibiting hop attributes such as tropical fruit, passion fruit, and or stone fruit, cut grass, and diesel to create. I don't know what the diesel thing is. That's stupid. And create an overall impression that is stone fruits like peaches and anything with that giant seed in the middle.
Well, what did you read yours from, John, for New Zealand's definition of what these beers are?
I was getting it from I was looking up Total Wine because I wanted to see what they had for New Zealand style. But they only had one beer, one Pilsner that did say New Zealand style on it. So, but the other beers, it popped up in the search algorithm, but I don't know necessarily if they identify as New Zealand beers.
What was the one that you found? Just out of curiosity.
And
where was it from?
One was Firestone Walker Hopnosis Cryo Hop. Another was the Rubens 6-1 New Zealand style Pilsner, Silver City Breaks and Swells IPA, Pelican Planet Necroton IPA, Fort George Power Cycle Hazy Pale Ale, Two Beers Sky Tower Pilsner, and Fort George Deviation Works Light Lager.
So Google says, what's a New Zealand Pilsner? A pale, dry, golden-colored, clearly fermented beer showcasing the characteristics of tropical, citrusy, fruit, grassy, New Zealand type hops.
New Zealand's tropical?
That is so generic. And I've never seen...
probably not anything that I'd want in a Pilsner anyway.
Getting so many different answers. It says a New Zealand style Pilsner is a pale lager that combines elements of Pilsner and Kolsch with New Zealand hops. Golden in color, dry and clean, fermented with a tropical, fruity, grassy flavor. So, there's so many different ways. I mean, it's just like any beer.
I will say,
it seems like the most common thing is like the fruity part. Like
I've had a grassy hop beer, and it was trash. I forget what beer it was, but that Lawnmower Pilsner was the trashiest shit beer I've ever had.
Was that from Three Creeks?
Maybe. I think it's called Lawnmower.
Yeah, I think
it's just fucking trash. It's just fucking trash. Here's the thing.
Which is a shame because I think Three Creeks makes terrific.
I want to put this New Zealand thing down, but I haven't. I don't know if I've actually had a beer considered as New Zealand. Here's the other thing. We're talking overrated. I don't even think we've had one of these.
I wonder if this might just be more like a regional. I don't know.
Well, I clearly agree with some of these other ones, but some of these I just don't get. New Zealand Pilsners.
I mean, I would probably just put that on the list just because a lot of us don't really like those overly hoppy Pilsners. That
I'm gonna say though. I mean, I'm gonna say Nick, it's hoppy, but it's the tropical hoppy. I feel like they're using New Zealand as a word, but it's more the tropical hoppy beers, like anything with passion fruit or
but I mean, are you gonna want that in your Pilsner anyway, or no?
No, I don't know, but I can't say I've really had a lot of those. A lot of the crafty Pilsners I've had are just hoppy,
just generic.
It's they're base, yeah. It's
generic over hop.
Whatever were hops we use in the IPA, we'll use in the lager.
So Basecamp actually, when Basecamp used to be a brewery that was in business, they actually had probably a better description for their beer, their most popular one anyway, but it was an IPL. It was an India Pale Lager. I mean, you may not like it, but I mean, at least it's a better description of what it is rather than
at least
trying to hide behind the pills.
Exactly. At least they're naming it properly. 100%. Right. I get that. I appreciate that. All right, so we're so hazy IPA, fuck it. Heavily fruited smoothie beers, like what the fuck is that? New Zealand Pilsners were not really us as... I feel like...
We're not sure, but we probably
I know,
hate
but we've never tried it, but I feel like we are beer drinkers. We are knowledgeable on beer. I mean, we've drinking a lot of fucking beer, and so like I feel like this category, the fact that it's overrated and we haven't really had it, is kind of bizarre. So it would have to sweep across us. So I don't know if it's overrated. It's a style, we haven't really had it yet. The next one, and I feel like this is what the beer I'm drinking comes in, maybe? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, opaque, double IPAs. I feel like this is what Hop Venom... I think this is Hop Venom's category.
Yeah, and I'm going to disagree with this one because this is what I love about double IPAs.
It's the only good IPA.
What? The Hop Venom?
No, but just...
Or just in general?
Double in general, like Fruit Force. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a different...
I don't know. That's just basically what... I mean, I don't know. Opaque. I mean, I would have to go...
if you have to use a word like opaque, I think you're kind of fucked.
Opaque means slightly cloudy. It's like slightly cloudy. You can see through it, but it's not, which I think is most beers.
Near hazy.
Near hazy, exactly.
Okay. All right. I mean,
But most hazies are opaque, which is stupid. It's just a stupid... It's this article is so up its own ass about some shit. So we're dissecting the beers.
You're hazy
and this article.
By using a word
we're
like
telling
opaque.
VinePair needs to get its shit together, and
I mean,
pay us to do the beer reviews and take care of that beer articles. But whatever.
That's fine. But sweet double IPAs. I mean, when I get a double IPA, that's what I want. I mean, of course, I also want to be hit with that double alcohol. But that's why I'm not completely on board with the IPAs are completely over. I mean,
look at that. Slightly opaque.
Yep.
Golden, sweet, delicious. Come on.
No, I've got much love for a sweet double IPA.
Come on, Boneyard for life, baby.
So when I have a double IPA that's not sweet and kind of bitter, then I'm a little sad.
How do you guys,
okay.
Jared, John, how do you guys feel about this category?
Yeah, I mean, I like the beer you're drinking.
But do you like the other ones, right?
I don't know.
Fruit Force?
Yeah, I mean, I like a strong IPA as long as it doesn't taste like I'm drinking a cone of hops,
Juice Force, Fruit Force, all those delicious ones.
Oh yeah,
see,
that stuff's good.
That's the same style.
Head, 90-minute IPA.
I don't know if that one. I don't think that one counts. Does that one count?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double IPA.
I don't find that one very sweet though.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sweet enough for me.
Okay, John. Do you have
I just think it's
you just drank that Dreadnought.
genre.
You just drank that Dreadnought Widmere. How was that one? That was a double IPA. Was it sweet? Was it?
It's but it's not a whole lot of there's not a lot of flavor in it for me. I don't really care much for Fruit Force just because the flavor itself is a little too artificial for my taste. Like I just feel like it's more of an IPA, and then they just took like fruit syrup and poured it in.
So it's a heavily fruited double IPA.
Like it
But
says.
I mean,
Sweet, like a
because
sweet.
I've had fruited IPAs before, and I felt like the taste was more natural.
It's
But
not
for
talking.
Fruit
It's not
Force,
talking about fruit.
just
It's talking about sweet.
it's more like a mixed drink. I feel like with Fruit Force, it's like a
Yeah,
wine cooler.
but like sweet. It's a sweet. Like the category is literally sweet double IPAs. So like
Yeah.
syrupy IPA is exactly
But
what it is.
if you're asking if it's overrated, I don't think so. I don't think whole lot of breweries are doing it, and I don't see them on the.
Yeah, Jared, let's go.
I don't see them.
Let's go,
Tropic Force
baby.
is out now.
I haven't had that yet. They don't have
But
it.
I think what I don't
good.
like is they use the word opaque because I just think that's
That's
pretty.
a dumb. That's a advert name.
Yeah.
It's a marketing bullshit.
Yeah, it's just pretentious. It's a pretentious term to use.
Like New Zealand.
Yeah, I don't think any beer actually uses the word opaque. It's
Yeah.
just this
If you have to look
person's
at the
opinion
definition of opaque, and you're talking about beer drinkers, come on. Why we need to break out a dictionary to know what we're drinking?
Again, let's fuck this site, VinePair. They need to get fucked.
Yeah.
They have no idea what
mean-
they're talking about.
Well, it's not necessarily VinePair, just more the people they interviewed.
True. Okay, all these brewers get fucked. So we agree with the hazy IPAs. Heavily fruited smoothie beers were questionable on. New Zealand Pilsners were questionable on. Sweet
Which you'd
opaque
say
double IPAs
most-
we don't agree on. So those are 4. So like 1 we agree, 2 we do not. 2 we're questionable on, and then 1 we're like for sure not. So the next 5th, non-alcoholic beers are overrated. They're like, because all the craft breweries are making them.
But
I think it's just a
it's
sales
not for
trend.
the average drinker. I mean, if people want to drink, beer flavored water, that's up to them. If you're like a beer connoisseur, yeah, don't waste your time with
I don't
non-alcoholic
really feel
beer.
how this is a problem though.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
I don't feel like it's overrated.
It's not
I don't really
overrated.
feel like it's a problem. I feel like this is a stupid thing. Like
That's a
It's
whole
growing.
genre of beer.
I like
And
I
it's
like
growing,
not
and-
yeah exactly. I like non-alcoholic beers.
And the more the better, because then it just means other people are going to get better at making it. Only to,
Here's the other thing. There's not a
And-
lot
and-
of craft breweries, like all these craft brewers that are talking here. None of them are brewing those. I mean, there's very few microbrewed, if any, microbrewed
but
non-alcoholic
more-
beers.
but a lot of brewers are starting to, like, they're God, I was just reading an article the other day, but I mean, it's just like even breweries that weren't making them are now starting to look into actually brewing non-alcohol beers.
Like
because
microbrews or
there's-
just regular breweries? Like
no, like even micro. I mean, like yeah, you've got some of the big ones. Like I think Miller Coors is
well, everyone,
I mean,
every other
they-
big ones are doing it because that's just the
Yeah.
thing to follow. Just like the whole
right, but I mean, even smaller
seltzer
like,
thing.
so a lot of, I mean, it's kind of a generational thing where like I think Gen Z, I mean, they're like these new crop of people who are coming of age aren't necessarily drinking and or at least drinking alcoholic beverages, and they're turning more to non-alcoholic alternatives and mocktails and such. And so it's some of these breweries are kind of getting the hint that this is a growing category, and they're jumping on board. And even like spirit, and like you've got non-alcoholic spirits that are jumping into the game,
Right.
non-al-
No.
A
Yeah.
lot of those,
and wineries
they're
and stuff.
expensive.
Yeah.
But why
I mean,
is it
it's
overrated?
It's not.
I don't
not.
think it is.
No.
Yeah,
And-
everybody's
yeah,
not going
we're all-
out there to buy.
We're
Oh,
all-
it's
we're-
the hot new trend. I need to go buy non-alcoholic beers. No, it's
not
people
it's not
wanting to make better life choices, or they might
Right.
need help.
And
then they want to taste the beer, but not get the alcohol effects.
But even if you were a microbrewer, because all these guys are like brewers, they have their own roof. You know, why would they say, "Oh, non-alcoholic beers"? It's like, well, yeah, it's a trend, and all the big guys are doing it because all the big guys can do it easily because they can shift an area and just start brewing these beers. But like, it's not like
it's probably just that mentality of just
because the big guys are doing it and they see it as a threat. It's overrated.
Be some of that. It could be something new that some people are just scoffing at, like
I just feel of all the trends that they're fucking cacawing, this one is so shitty. When hey, you have people that can come out to bars and feel like they can have fun, or B, people can have a couple beers and then have a fucking couple fake beers and not really at that point not really know the difference. I feel like this is one that I don't feel like you should poo-poo. Like, I feel like
no.
Like, Trapdoor has on tap at their brewery, Athletic Brewing's non-alcoholic, one of their IPAs or something. It's like,
and that should be worth noting. There's a whole brewery that actually just is non-alcoholic
But just
beer.
the idea, like, hey, we're going to go hang out with my friends, and like, if I have a friend that doesn't drink beer but drinks fake beer, sure. Or you have a driver. Or you drink a couple beers and then you still want to drink something that's like beer, but you don't want to keep getting drunk. That option is there. I just feel like this is a stupid choice from them to poo-poo when this is like a win-win overall. Like, I would not be fucking shitting on this choice, and the fact that they're shitting on this choice just shows how fucking shitty these brewers are that they interviewed. Like, I would not, like, this should not even be on the list. Like, it's kind of disgusting.
I think non-alcoholic beers, they're not for me. I'm not gonna buy them, but I think they're a necessary tier in the industry.
Sure, but I also feel like I could drink a couple beers and get pretty lit, and then you could give me a non-alcoholic beer and I could drink it and be like, I wouldn't know there's no alcohol. I would just feel like it's a beer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, you know what I mean? Like, I could just drink it and feel like, cool, I'm hanging out with the guys. I don't give a shit. I'm not getting drunker. So by the time I go home, I'm not trashed. And I don't feel like you could shit on that. You should not shit on that. Like, that's something that, like, you should promote more. So
yes, because especially since the more people that get involved, the better recipes that they come up with, the better non-alcohol beers that you get. And I mean, I know price point may be like a thing where it's like, oh, you're basically paying beer price to not get drunk. I mean, there's
but you're putting work into something that not a lot of people are buying right now.
Well, there's that, and not to mention even premium sodas or pop, whatever you want to call it. Those are kind of a thing. Yeah, cock. Those are kind of a thing too, and you definitely know you're not getting drunk if you're buying a $3 or $4 glass of or a glass bottle of some premium soda. So, I mean, I just kind of look at it that way as well. It's
all right. Well, I just feel like non-alcoholic beers shouldn't be on this list. That's a shitty dig at that industry. Whatever. They can choose it. I get
market segment.
I guess microbrewers want to fucking shit on this, but I don't think they should. I feel like that's a shitty choice. Moving on.
Yeah.
Lactose-heavy beers. I feel like those are the beers you guys drink and not me. I'm gonna go take
back.
What? You're gonna take off?
No, I'm gonna go look for a lactose-heavy beer.
Okay, you better.
So it's not. So the person that was complaining about that is he likes milk stouts, just the traditional milk stout, but apparently it's in like a bunch of different beers to really sweeten them, like IPAs and stuff like that, because it sweetens them up.
But that's a lactose heavy? Like, I feel like lactose heavy would be in the milk stout.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like
fruited sours is one of them. Milkshake beers. Let's see, hazy.
That's a stout. A milkshake beer has got to be a stout, dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That goes under one of the other.
What are those
categories?
What is that?
Listed.
What is the brand of beer? The one that has like the milk cherry and the milk. Like, there's like that whole shelf at John's Market. They have like cherry vanilla and.
Oh, I haven't been there in so long.
Anyway, there's like a brand of beers that you and Dave likes that has all those stouts, and they're all.
Yeah, those go under another classification as the pastry stouts. That's probably very lactose heavy.
So those are the same category but different?
Essentially, but also the lactose can go into sweeter like IPAs and stuff like that. So it can be hidden in a lot of places. So if you're like lactose tolerant, you got to pay attention to a lot of those like hazies and stuff.
So does pastry stout mean specialty stout versus?
Well, that's like
actually
the peanut butter chocolate stouts. Like
so
dessert
like the weird
stouts.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk stout.
So it doesn't mean pastry.
Belching beaver, baby.
Yeah, belching beaver is a lactose. It's a pastry stout.
So these two categories go together, but they don't.
Yeah, they could merge, but it's funny.
I mean, I don't care about either of these categories. I don't know if they're overrated. They're definitely gimmicky, 100% gimmicky. I get that they're gimmicky. Nick, did you find one?
No, I didn't. I was looking to see if maybe I had something in here, but it doesn't look.
You don't buy gimmick beers? Yeah.
Well, I mean, they already. I mean, probably the closest thing that I do buy to
I gotta pee. You guys talk about
heavy
this.
beer. Would be a milk stout, but apparently that was excluded from one of the brewers. But I mean, that made me think of Widmer's Snowplow, which is
I missed that so much. Snowplow was one of my favorites.
That was awesome. That was a lovely beer, and if that's one of those lactose heavy beers, then I'm going to disagree with that. But it sounds like what you guys were talking about, though. I don't have a lot of experience in lactose heavy IPA, which actually sounds really strange to me.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to find that real quick. All right. So here, I'll read this paragraph from this person from Philadelphia of a beer brand called Carbon Copy. I think beers that are heavily reliant on lactose, such as classic milk stout excluded, are overrated. I think they brought up the expected level of sweetness in some styles of beer, like IPA. People have been chasing a sweeter and sweeter profile and losing balance. So he doesn't give any specific examples or anything like that. And it's really impossible. It's like just doing Google searches on like beers with lactose. It's like it only pulls up very, very specific articles in like Eastern states and stuff like that. So it's hard to really find that. I mean, it's most like around here, it's mostly you see stout with lactose, like mostly dark beers, but apparently there's a lot of just standard beers with it.
So I think, like I've said earlier, this article might be more of a regional thing than
could be.
There's nationwide. I mean,
there's comments from people in Seattle from some other stuff too. Yeah,
see, it's all over. It's systemic.
Yeah.
Did we wrap up on the lactose?
Yeah, I think so. And I think earlier we were talking about Ian, how the next category is kind of blended in with pastry stouts.
Pastry stouts. I guess they say pastry, but maybe like the special or gimmicky stouts.
It's like dessert beers.
Dessert beers.
Yeah, peanut butter, chocolate, milkshake,
cherry, vanilla,
chocolate. Yeah, all that kind of
double chocolate
stuff. Milkshake mentioned, like a milkshake.
Yeah. For some reason, that category is called a pastry stout, and
BBK
I hate that title. Maybe a dessert stout, because it's like this person was complaining it's over the top, and he does like it in a small 4-ounce glass. I'm like, yeah, of course, it's thick, it's rich, it's made to like
for
really
dessert,
treat you.
Have some vanilla ice.
Beer.
Have some vanilla ice cream and drink this other thing and call it good.
Yeah, but I think it's funny that it's put on. Here, let's see. I'll find it. Pastry stouts. And my most overrated beer style is pastry stouts. I hate pastry stouts because they are really painful and laborious to make. And they're so filling, rich, and over the top. And they're not something I enjoy drinking a full glass of. Why are you
specializing?
But are nice to taste in 4-ounce portions. I'm like, why is it the most overrated beer? If you love it in small portions.
And why are you... Yeah, it always felt like pastry stouts were such a niche thing anyway. Yeah. Like... Of everyone who drank the Belching Beaver peanut butter stout, there was one of us who liked it. I don't feel like that's overrated. Like, it wasn't something. It's not a beer. It's easily found. It's not a beer.
Fun. It's a novelty. Essentially. It's a
novelty.
It kicks on, and some people really, really take to it, and that's fine.
And some people like that stuff, but I don't feel like it's something that's shoved down my throat, and everyone says they love it. It's not overrated. Like, I don't even know.
Like nobody talks about this stuff.
If you're like with a brewery that makes those, maybe it sucks for you. But like the breweries that make those are so few. Like that's like it's not like Deschutes is making a fucking peanut butter stout. Like what? Like you have to have a major. Like that's such a niche pull, man. It's niche. If it's niche, it's not overrated. You know what I'm saying? Mm. Like, pull your head out of your ass, dude. Like, Boneyard ain't making fucking peanut butter stouts or vanilla strawberry ports or some shit. They're not, because they're too busy making fucking hazy IPAs that are fucking overrated. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet opaque double IPAs. I'm gonna say. I don't get the lactose heavy beers. Like, I feel like lactose is used as a thickener and a sweetener. You can't really generalize the beer that is because it's used in so many different beers that it's not like you're going to the store and buying I would like the lactose beer, please. It's just okay. And then the pastry stout also. I feel like those two are like questionable. Now, here's the other. Now we're moving on to kettle sours. And then the last one is sour IPAs. What is the difference between a kettle sour and a sour IPA? Like, can a sour IPA also be the kettle sour? I don't understand this sour shit.
Well, I just looked it up. A kettle sour specifically is a sour beer where they add lactobacillus type of probiotic.
Lactose heavy beers. Already overrated. Now they're double overrated.
Yeah. So it's added at a certain point of the brewing. So that's where that is.
There's a lot of these sour beer. I mean, this last couple years there's been but I don't know who buys them.
Jared.
Jared, kind of, maybe.
Well, not really, because
not
they're
really,
crazy overpriced.
Oh, they're crazy expensive.
If you get like just a proper sour, you're looking at like a normal size bottle for like $15.
Oh, 100%. Like, and when I go to like Total Wine and you look at the sour section in the cold fridge, like a 4-pack of those tall boy sours are like 30 to 40 bucks. Who's buying that shit?
The only one I can really afford is like the 10-barrel stuff.
And is that even a kettle sour?
I don't think it's a kettle sour.
It's just a regular sour, right?
It probably classifies. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't know. I just don't know anyone who's buying those like fucking craft sours. I don't know anyone who's buying those or drinking those. I bought one. I bought a can of one. Trapdoor did one. It was the grossest thing I ever drank, and I was like, nah, not for me. I just don't get. I don't get it, and I don't know if it's overrated because I don't know who buys it. And it's not like it takes over shelf space, really.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what you were saying about IPAs. You know, if you're listing 3 different IPAs and 2 different sours in the same article, it should be IPAs and sours that are overrated.
Right. It shouldn't be just 2. Like the last 2 choices are sours and a sour IPA, and it's like, well, I don't.
All these subgenres.
Like, wow, we are making some choices here on overrated, and I don't.
And it really seems like this article has issue with overly sweetened beers, IPAs, and sours. That's pretty much what it breaks down to.
Well, New Zealand is tropical hoppy. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't get. I ultimately.
But for the sweet, you have pastry stouts, lactose heavy, and then the sweet opaque double IPAs. So you have 3 different sweet beers.
Sweet. A lot of these people just don't like the, the probiotics pretty much being added to it.
How did you come across this article, Nick? Like you posted it. How did it come across a feed or something? How did you come across it?
Yeah, probably my Google feed on my phone.
It's still fun to talk about and criticize,
No, I saw it and it's like, oh man, these are some. We should. It'd be fun to just like just talk about it. It is controversial.
This website doesn't have comments or anything like that, so I can't read what other people are saying.
Like I can't say.
And maybe for the brewers, they're just being forced to include these beers they don't want to make.
Maybe.
I mean, we've discussed on the show about someone who runs a brewery, and that they have a specific vision for their beers, but unfortunately, their vision for their beers don't necessarily align.
And he makes quite a few sours actually. Actually, for like if I were to like he does, right? He has he makes quite a few sours. Like I'm saying, like you might make around 3 or 4 sours now. Whereas like I look at Trapdoor's making 1 or 2, but they don't have them on rotation. I don't even know if they currently make one right now. I don't feel like sours are that popular. I feel like it's a very niche thing. Just to say they're overrated.
Yeah.
I think if this article came out 4 years ago, they probably would be more on the nose with sours.
What is the time on this? Well, this says 2020.
I'm assuming it was
like a week ago.
Oh, overrated 2024.
January 23rd.
It's current. Yeah, I feel like the whole sour thing is pretty niche still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very small segment.
I've never had a sour IPA, so I don't know what that is. I don't know if I can really. The last category is sour IPA. I don't know. Has anyone had a sour IPA?
Sweet?
I don't think so.
Or they're using sours to sweeten beers. It seems like what the article. I'm not saying the article is saying this, but some of the terminology and like the lactose, not lactose heavy, but it seems like the sour beers are kind of used to sweeten other beers. If that makes sense.
New Belgium has a sour IPA.
What is it?
It's just called sour IPA. It has a kite on it.
Okay.
And then Sierra Nevada, and apparently Jared and I Googled the same thing, but Sierra Nevada has a wild little thing, which is a sour
very
ale.
wild can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nothing I've ever really encountered.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So it's not sour in the sense that a sour is. It's just a way more bitter IPA. Just more. Probably.
But being overrated, I don't know. Maybe he talked to like one dude that loved him a lot, and he's like, "No, dude, I don't like it."
I feel like sour
IPAs.
like,
and maybe the dude was annoying, and so now he's like, instead of hating the guy, he just hates the beer.
But sour IPAs has got to be like just so new, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can it
so
be
uncommon?
So uncommon.
Well, I mean, in that Google search, I see an article from summer of 2021 about describing a sour IPA.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, clearly this is going to be up Ian's alley, this beer.
Yeah, go for it, Ian.
I feel like it's different from the kettle sour. I feel like a sour IPA is just a really incredibly bitter, hoppy IPA. I would be curious to know if it's actually brewed the same way as a sour or if it's just a fucking bitter ass IPA. I guess that's.
Well, it sounds like after you drink one of those, you're going to need some Keystone to save the day to get rid of that bitter beer face.
Nah, I'll just drink a sweet opaque double IPA.
Yeah, or that.
I feel like this whole list is garbage except for the first one, hazy IPAs. And really it should just be IPAs up there. Listen, I love an IPA. I love a good IPA, but the fact is just IPAs
have just kind of overburdened the market.
Yeah, that's the overratedness. Like what aside from IPAs, what other beers do we actually think are overrated? Like what?
Well, what consumes the most shelf space and makes looking at store shelves extra boring?
IPAs.
Oh, I can only think of IPAs.
I mean, you could make the argument for lagers or, like light
just
lagers,
domestic beers.
Domestic imported, like, Heineken, Corona, that kind of shit. And then the fact that craft breweries and everyone has a version of that. And that's lagers, pilsners, because they're kind of interchangeable because no one really makes one. Anyway, it's...
I think like stouts are underrated because you don't see much of that anymore.
And ambers, baby.
And ambers. Yeah, man.
Amber, come back, baby. Amber, come back.
Maybe that's what we tackle next on the list.
I think the whole cold IPA, it's just IPAs in general because you got the cold IPAs. You got the fucking,
It seems douchey that it has so many different subcategories.
Oh, okay. We're making IPAs with like cold filtered lager yeast or whatever. It's like, okay, fine. It's still a fucking IPA. Oh, but it's cold. Okay, gotcha. 10-4. It's just IPAs. I think that's anyone's. I don't feel like the non-alcohol. I mean, I don't think like non-alcoholic beers are that big of an issue. I think that's the deserved space. It should be the deserved space. I think it's a market that people should be buying from. If anything needs to be overrated and get the fuck out, it's fucking seltzers. I honestly think to a degree ciders are taking up too much market space.
Oh, yeah, they have a huge shelf space in the stores.
I don't know if they're that good. I don't know who really drinks them. I'm not. It's like they're always there. I don't know who buys them because they're always there. I feel like
it's the younger generations. They're not drinking
people who can't drink.
They're drinking appley stuff. They're
pineapple-y
drinking
stuff.
seltzers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should be a pussy beer section, seltzers, cider, and then there should be the beer section.
Yeah, one of my nephews is 21 now, and he last time we were in the same place together, it was the Excelsior. That was like the apple pie cider stuff, whatever that was.
Sweet alcohol. It's like, no, alcohol's not supposed to be sweet.
Yeah,
brother.
It's very sweet.
Do they put lactose?
Oh, man.
Do they put lactose in those ciders?
I don't know. I don't feel like looking that up either. Like, yeah, it's a division I just never have spent money on.
Anyway,
I like apple juice.
John, you okay over there? Did you spill some lactose?
You need some lactose. I'm lactose intolerant.
Lactose out of my nose.
He's crying over spilled lactose.
Well, I appreciate this article you brought to us, Nick. It was fun to talk about. I look forward to doing more episodes like this where we just drink a beer and dissect some assholes' opinions. It's better than us, just saying our opinions.
Well, it's the next best thing. If this website doesn't allow comments on it, you might as well make a podcast about the whole article.
There you go. Huh? Suck it. It's pretty funny. Anyway, we have any closing comments before we get out of here?
Don't let people's opinions ruin your preference in beer.
Yes. IPAs, but IPAs suck.
But there are really good IPAs.
Nick to win.
Yes. Yes, enough with the IPAs. I mean,
more Himalayan snowman.
Scale back on that. Yes.
Yeah.
More Himalayan snowman. Let's
don't be scared to try something new, brewers.
Let's invest in that Indian marketplace or Indian market, and let's see if we can.
Let's not. Let's go to the Japanese market. Japanese market, maybe.
Indian non-alcoholic beer. That's what I'm going for.
How about you, John? You have any closing comments?
Keep drinking those apple cider caramel mocha latte beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with the Couch Co-op. We enjoy bringing you the best beer content on the internet.
Best drunken rambling that we can muster.
I love these episodes because we get together and Nick still gets to be part of the Co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everyone,
see my lovely face.
Drink some beers, have a good time, and. What do we say? Beer responsibly.
Beer responsibly with each other.
On top of each other?
It's a riff off your Couch Co-op one, man.
Beer responsibly.
Goodness.